This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are honored to have Lisa Andria joining us again, our emotional transformation specialist, and so much more. How are you doing today, Miss Lisa?
I'm doing great. I hope everybody that's listening is doing very well today too.
Thank you. Ladies Who Leap. Yeah, based out of Long Beach, California. I know it's a little hot there right now, a little hot in New York, and we're going to get through the summer together. Really.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. So, for those that may not know a little bit about the company and what you do, would you mind just sharing that? And then we'll get into today's topics. Thank you.
Yep. Like you said, I'm an emotional transformation specialist with Ladies Who Leap coaching. I help transition women by releasing the emotional clutter in their heads so that they can move forward to reach their dreams with clarity and confidence. And I can get them there with all the support that a coach would give them.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that. And we're excited to have you back here to talk a little bit about, let's start with external validation, right? And what that
Yeah.
looks like. And then the cost of living this way. Tell us.
So we're talking about two powerful forces that shape our confidence and freedom. It's releasing the grip of external validation and unconditional self-love, because the two are really deeply connected, right? When you stop waiting for others to tell you you're enough, you create a space to truly love yourself without conditions. So to just give you an idea, I was a nerdy, skinny kid with thick glasses when I was in my school years, and I was picked on and I was completely ignored. I mastered the art of invisibility. So think about that as a child. It really secured in my head that in order for people to like me, I had to fit in and I had to
Yeah.
be someone that they would like, right? Now you fast forward to my late 50s and now into my early 60s. I've worked to shed that self-doubt inner child and the events that shaped those reasons for not loving myself. And now when somebody doesn't call me back or text right away, it's okay. I understand through my work as a coach and what I've learned about myself that it's just fine if they're not responding, right? Because I love myself without having to get the validation from that person or anybody else. And I even worked with a client that had the same issue, because a lot of us have these issues. And once the self-love was awakened in her, the choices about people in her life were based on whether they enhance her life or not. It was about what she wanted for herself, not what others thought that she should do. So it made a huge difference in how she spent her time and how she relaxed or how she felt about her decisions and the people that she spent her time with. So let's start with the external validation of this coin.
Yes.
Think about it. So have you ever changed your outfit 3 times before going out because you were worried about what other people would think of you? Or you
Definitely.
stay silent. Yeah, if you stay silent in a meeting because you feared judgment, that's the trap of external validation. It looks like when you constantly are needing likes or praise or approval before you make a move. Or you're saying yes when you really want to say no. We know all about that. Or you're putting others' needs before your own. We grow up being rewarded for approval, so like grades, appearances, achievements, and over time we measure our worth by other people's reactions, and that sticks with us. So this creates a cycle of dependency where confidence rises and falls based on external feedback, and we depend so heavily on it as we're going through life.
Yeah.
There's a cost to living this way, right? You lose authenticity. You're living a version of your life scripted by others, what you should be doing rather than what you would like to be doing and what's best for you. I call it floating through life or shape shifting to be able to be who everybody wants you to be, right? It's that external validation that's coming in. And it causes exhaustion. It can cause resentment. You're never feeling like you're enough. You're missing opportunities because you have a fear of disapproval, which stops you from even, as I call with the Ladies Who Leap, from
Yeah.
leaping into something new, right? Because you're
Yeah.
like, oh, somebody's going to say I'm wrong, so I'm not even going to try. You get emotional burnout and resentment. You miss opportunities because you fear that you have that fear of disapproval. Or you're constantly checking, like I was saying earlier, the likes or comments on social media. So that is something where you're looking for that external validation. You're hesitating to act unless somebody else approves it first. When you look for somebody's okay before you take an action because you feel a need to get approval to do it, that's part of seeking validation. If any
Yeah.
of this resonates with you, then you can understand that that is something that works against you. And we'll talk about what it is that you can do in a little bit because I want you to now recognize what conditional self love is. So these two really go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So let's switch over to the conditional self love side and why it's such a trap. Because many women say, and I've had lots of clients that have said this, I'll love myself
Yep.
when I look prettier, when I make this particular reach this goal, when I get this promotion. So it's like a moving target. Every milestone just sets up another condition for you to love yourself. And I've even had instances where I don't actually ask a woman if they love themselves, but I ask them how they feel about themselves. And it's really interesting because they will completely skirt around it. They'll say, oh, I really like myself, or I really like myself when I'm dressed up and really pretty and I'm going out, or I really like myself a lot, or the word love rarely comes up in a lot of the conversations. And that's
Yeah.
when I know this is something they really need to work on.
Wow.
Yeah. So, what happens is your mindset of not of having a condition on self-love gives you a feeling of low self-worth. Women will keep themselves stuck. It is valuing mistakes in life more than just that, a mistake that you can
Yeah.
chalk up and learn from, but having those mistakes carry so much weight. It's so unhealthy, and creates that condition where you don't necessarily love yourself because you've made that mistake, instead of looking at mistakes like just a mistake. All of us make mistakes, and they
Yeah.
come and go, and you can learn from them. And if you change that mindset on it, that you learn from mistakes, and you'll actually appreciate the mistakes that happen in your life, because then they're giving you a lesson in some way to do something better going forward. So if you didn't go to an event, think of it this way, and someone said, well, that wasn't nice, you should have gone, right? You said yes when you wanted to say, you said no when other people thought you should say yes. No,
Mm-hmm.
you're not a mean person. It doesn't define you. It means that you were valuing yourself and you had something else that you wanted to do and you did it. So you should applaud that. Your love for yourself, think about this for a moment. When you have that unconditional self love, it sets the stage for how others treat you. So honor that. Remember that. And I'm going to say it again. When you love yourself, it sets the stage for other people to love you the same way, unconditionally. And that's super important.
Ah, my goodness. And that is so true. But not everybody sets that stage. Hence, maybe we're not feeling the love, right? We're not feeling that connection.
Yeah. So you want to love yourself with all the messy parts, right? Your flaws,
Yes.
your mistakes, your imperfections. I say, warts and all, because it leads to deeper confidence and emotional freedom. It's a contrast between self-improvement, which is fine, because this is what we're all going for, self-improvement, but then it's countered with self-rejection, and that blocks your growth.
Yeah.
So if putting those conditions on it, it really does block your growth. And another thing is when you love yourself, you transform other people's relationships with you, you transform careers, you transform health. I've heard that women say that they need to be 200% perfect on their jobs or they're not going to get the promotion. Really? Is that an expectation of your boss or is that an expectation of yourself? Because it could be a self-induced reality that you're telling yourself you need to be so perfect. And really, if your boss is expecting you to be way more perfect and better than anyone else that they'd consider for that promotion, is that really a job that you want to work for? Is that really a place that you want to work? It doesn't really sound like it to me, and it might be a time where you need to make a change or a shift to another position, another company, or maybe another career. So these are all, I'm giving you examples where if it resonates with you, if any of these things have happened, it is an indication that you don't necessarily completely love yourself, mistakes and flaws and all, and that you're looking for external validation in order to make yourself feel good. And for all the reason I just mentioned, all those reasons, it's not going to work. It's actually going to put you back into a more difficult position where you really have the negative self-talk continuing in your head, and it's not going to transform your life in any way.
Well,
So I want you to, yeah, as I'm talking about this, I want you to remember something. You are good enough. You always have been. You always will be good enough to attract anything and anyone that you want, because all of us are made unique and beautiful in their own way, and that's perfect. And when you truly accept yourself, like I said, warts and all, then everyone that will be attracted to you will feel the same way, and they'll be the right people. And this goes into the all where you're people pleasing. We're talking about all of that. This is a place that you want to get to. So let's talk about practical steps to shift to unconditional self-love. Other than what I spoke about in my past interviews with you, Jill, about the breakthrough session, the work that I do that can instantly break the event that's stuck in your unconscious mind to break through and awaken you to the self-love, there are other practical things that you can do on a daily basis. So, yeah. So you
anything in
can
particular?
yeah, you can replace self-criticism with curiosity. So instead of saying, ask yourself, what do I need? Instead of what's wrong with me. Think about that. Very simple, right? What do I need? I had a client who said, my God, just for you telling me to do this, I came up anything that I realized that I wanted to do, from choices about what vacations to take, who to go out with, what to do that day. She goes, I stopped and asked myself, what do I want? What do I need? Not thinking about what's wrong with me because I wasn't invited or because I'm not able to do something. No, think about that.
Yeah.
Daily affirmations. And if you believe in them or not, I had a great woman that brought those to me many years ago. They are simple and they're powerful. Something like, I am enough right now.
Yeah.
I am deserving to welcome all the abundance of love, money into my life. I
Ah,
choose to love honestly. I choose to be vulnerable and powerful and be empowered. However, you want to write them. Take what in your life you feel are the most negative thoughts that you have and flip them on their side. Put them into some powerful affirmations, put them on a board, I put them on my computer as the background so I can see it every day, and continue to keep saying it, because when you walk into a room and you see someone that's positive, they've been saying the affirmations and they stand up straight and tall, they're the person that you want to go to, you want to do business with, you want to get to know. It's the other person that hasn't been saying these things and has been negatively talking to themselves and slumps down a little bit. It's not the person that you're attracted to. And that's why daily affirmations actually work. It changes your mindset and how you think even about yourself and the thoughts that you have in your head.
yeah.
Okay. So now an awareness tool. So you're going to pause before seeking approval. So ask yourself, what do I think? What do I want? And I talked about that earlier. Before you seek approval, think about, realistically, how am I in this situation? I know that I'm enough.
Mm-hmm.
And stop to think about that before you think about having somebody else bring you that approval. Approve yourself
Yeah.
first. Go into a situation, say, I approve of myself. I know that I am really good at what I'm doing. This is what I want, and let everybody else's approval go. Another good thing to do, and I brought this up before, is journaling. So you want to reflect in your journal a time that you trusted yourself and how it felt. And if you write along with the three things that you're grateful for, because I always say to put those first, but the
Mm-hmm.
next thing, talk about in that day what you did that felt really good, something that you did really good because you trusted yourself and you went by what you want and what you know that you can be, and write about it. Keep it stored,
Yeah.
keep it in your mind. Yeah, every day. Think about that. You're giving yourself almost the self validation so that you don't have to get it from somebody else.
I like that. Yeah, true.
I've had somebody even, they call it mirror work. Every
Okay.
morning, going up to the mirror, putting your high five up and saying, I love you. I trust you. Just saying it right to yourself. I am enough right now. And of course, we talked about gratitude. When you give gratitude, include yourself on that list. When you're writing about what you're grateful for, say, I am grateful because I am such a great person. I am
Wow.
grateful because I am kind and I am compassionate. I am grateful for myself having empathy. Say that to yourself every day. That's really important. And then there's celebrating your wins. So when
Yeah.
you have a win, you get that promotion, you sell that house, you get a new client, celebrate it. Now you can celebrate it privately because there really is no need to scream it and post it or share it. However, if you want to tell everybody else what an expert are at your job, and this is a marketing type of tool, then you can celebrate your win publicly and share why you had that win. It wasn't luck. It wasn't being at the right place at the right time. It was because you knew what you were doing. You sold that house because you had built a relationship and a trust that you had with your client because you trust yourself, because you know all about what the ins and outs and puts and takes are with selling a house, and you were able to explain it to someone and have them feel comfortable and be able to buy a house, right? Share that so you can show self-love in a very open way and the fact that you trust yourself.
Wow. Gotta be open. We have to, I want to trust myself, but sometimes people put people that fear, that anxiety, the doubt, we're not good enough. We gotta get out of that talk, right? And continue on the self-love because it's powerful.
It
Keep
is very
keep shifting us.
empowering.
Keep shifting us. Go ahead. What are more of the steps?
Yeah, and when you get to the point where you truly, because again, and I've said this before in the other things, you could do something bad and you can be a great person, and both of those can exist at the same time, and you are still a unique, beautiful human being. It does not negate. If you do something wrong, it does not negate your whole being as a really great person. And then there's the boundaries. Now, you know about setting boundaries for people in your life, and it's not to control them. It is so that you can tell them how you want them to communicate with you. So you're setting boundaries based on what your needs are. But you can also set boundaries on kind of yourself, right? Where you learn, like I said, to say no without guilt. So that's a boundary you're putting on yourself. And remembering that every time you say no to someone else, it's a yes to yourself. So you're honoring yourself. There you go, giving yourself self respect and validating that what you want is validation enough.
Yep.
Also, when you say no to something like going somewhere or doing something, guess what? It opens it up for something else to come into your life that's probably something you were meant to do and meant to experience. Even if it's just sitting at home and having your own self-care with your dog or cat in front of the TV, or just spending time with a loved one, if that's what you wanted to do and that's what you needed that day, yeah, say no. It's
Yeah.
okay. All right? It's
Ah,
not, yeah, it's okay to say no. Now, the internal validation, which was I was talking about,
yes.
like, what do I think? And I've said this several times, but I'm going to keep saying it. What do I want? You don't need approval or input from anybody else. Taking yourself first. Do I want to go on this vacation with these people? Do I
Mm-hmm.
want to go by myself? Do I want
Uh,
to stay home? Whatever you want, anchor your confidence in your own values and your own integrity and not others' opinions. One person, I think I've mentioned this before too, when someone says something, gives their opinion of you, a lot of times they're talking to themselves because they're coming from their own baggage, their own things that have been stored in their unconscious mind. And so they're putting their own lack of validation and self love onto you by
yeah.
saying, do you really think you should be doing this? Because I don't think that's a good idea. That's their own issues with self doubt, and that's putting it on you. So don't seek others' opinions because guess what? They are their opinions and you have your own. And when you use an affirmation like, my worth is not up for debate, then when people have opinions, no,
Yeah.
it's not. And you appreciate it. Thank you
No,
very much. I
thank
appreciate
you.
your opinion. Yes. But you don't necessarily have to take it into account and actually go forward with it. Yeah.
Got it. Oh, my goodness. Well, let me see. As far as, all of us at home, what we could start doing at home, right? To start the process, this guided exercise might be beneficial to us. You think?
hmm So let me get to that. And I wanted to make sure that I got it all right and it's in front of me. So, what I like for you to do is think of times when you wanted or sought somebody else's approval.
Hmm.
Ask yourself, if I love myself unconditionally, how would I have acted differently?
Yeah.
So, take even going back as many years as you can go back, but think
Okay.
about things that happened in your life where you wanted somebody else's approval and you actually either didn't take action because you didn't get the approval, or it put you in such a place of self-doubt that you were frozen.
Yeah.
Then write down when it happened. Then next to it, write down what you did or didn't do. And then next to that, write down how you could have acted differently if you actually trusted and loved yourself.
Ah,
And write down what you would have done. And then write down what would that have then been the outcome, the different outcome you would have had. And I'm telling you to do this for like as many years as you can and write down as many instances as you can remember and get up until today.
yeah.
Now, as you know, take that time to do that. And as you get to today, when something happens and you go, oh, wait a minute, I'm looking for validation from somebody else. I need to remember this. As you, at one point, you're going to recognize when this is happening, and then you're going to start adjusting your behavior in real time because you're thinking about when you did it, what you did, how to do it differently, and what the outcome would have been. Really digesting that information, writing it down, and then start doing it in real time. Oh, yesterday I did it. This is what I did. Oh, a couple hours ago I did it. And then when you get to real time, you're going to adjust your behavior immediately. You're going to go, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't need to be doing that. Let me make the decision for myself. Yeah. Now, releasing the limiting belief, like I said earlier, that you don't love yourself will have an instant effect. However, this is a way, when we do it through the breakthrough session that I had talked about, and over time, you will have an effect on this. But this particular writing it down, keeping track, acknowledging and having the awareness when it happens, that's the way to keep your neural pathways secured in a new way of thinking about yourself. So it's changing your neural pathways so that it stays in a way that you think of yourself with love and with trust. And so changing those neural pathways by really recognizing what you've done in the past and how changing how you do it going forward and being aware of it can change those neural pathways on a permanent basis so that you now are just a completely different person.
Change. I want to change those neural pathways, and everyone's can be changed.
Everybody's can. And it's either the slower process of kind of the things that I'm talking about here, where it's almost creating a new neural pathway or new habit, right? In your unconscious mind, if you can think about it that way. And it takes a good 21 days to change that habit. You can do the breakthrough sessions that I have talked about that I do with clients, which can instantly change those neural pathways. But either way, you're able to do it at some point if you really focus on the awareness of when it's happening, why it's happening, and the positive affirmations and thoughts that you can replace those negative thoughts with so that you can now move forward with truly loving yourself and not caring that, boy, you were in that meeting and you didn't want to say anything because you were afraid you were going to say the wrong thing. And you got the courage because you've been doing this exercise and you said something, and either way, even if it was wrong, or hey, you got praise for what you said, or somebody said, yeah, I never thought of that. That's a great idea. Whatever the outcome is, it's okay, whether it's negative or positive. You did and said what you wanted to do and say, so you got the courage. Celebrate yourself for having that confidence to be able to do that. And then reap whatever rewards or learn from the mistakes if you had something you didn't say right. Just do it. It's kind of
Oh,
almost
just
that
do it.
idea.
Just do
Yeah.
it. Oh, wow. All
And then
right.
add that journal prompt. So when you're doing your journals, add this prompt. If I trusted my own approval first, what would change in my life? So think about that. If you trusted yourself, what would change in your life? How would you react differently? And that's where I'm having you think of that time and write it down for several years, because now you can think about in real time, hey, I trust myself. How am I going to react here? And now you can react in a different way.
Oh, beautifully said. Thank you so much for breaking this down for us and sharing all this, Lisa. We appreciate it. How can we contact you?
Well, you can go to ladieswholeap.com, set up a call, and there's a little Let's Connect button in the upper right-hand corner, and then we can talk and I can find out what it is that you're struggling with and really talk about how I can help you. And I want everybody to remember, as long as you're chasing outside approval, you'll never feel whole. That's why the answer lies in your own unconditional self-love.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, Lisa, thank you for being here, for joining us. As always, it's great to chat with you. And if someone does want to reach out, Ladies Who Leap, Google her and go to ladieswholeap.com. Lisa Andria is her name, emotional transformation specialist. Thank you so much again for your time. Always a pleasure having you here. And thank you for the insight.
Thank you, Jill. Have a great rest of the day.
You too, sweetheart. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, hun.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.